boys, and welcome back to another Bleach Break. So today we're over on Tier Maker for another tier list. This time we're doing a PvP one. Now, before we actually get into this, just do know, flex, I'm head captain, but do know this is my opinion. I'm one person. It's not, what I'm saying right now isn't 100% accurate. If there's more people coming up with a tier list that work on one tier list, then it's probably more accurate. As of now, this is just my opinion on a tier list. I'm doing a tier list right now because I've been asked to do it. And that's just gather away. There's nothing really going on in the game. There's the only thing that we got the forthcoming update, which we already knew about, so it's nothing special. And then we're also getting the resurrected characters that, whatever. Gin got frenzy, yay! But do know this is gonna be different from last time. Literally the other 3 times I've done a tier list, or 4, I did it one by one, going in order. But this time I've already done 2 takes for this. Both are like 50 minutes long, 40 minutes long, going over each character. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it by tiers this time because, so right now you're going to see tier E, then D, then C, then B, then A, and then S. Now do know in the tiers, they're not in order. The only one in order is tier S because that's pretty easy to rank, right? There's only a couple characters in there. So let's start with tier E. So in tier E, the bottom tier, we got Yukio, we got Swimsuit Orihime, the twins, I forgot their name, Shunsui, we got Kensei Hanataro, the twins again, yin and yang. They're not really twins, but I guess they are. And Shuhei. So why are these in the bottom of the tier, right? Well, one, I didn't make this list. This person carried it, so that's why they're in the bottom. They're usable, I guess, but for the most part, they lack flurry, they lack poise. They can do some bits because they have, paralysis and stuff. Like this Shuhei, he's range, he has a good normal attack string. But because he lacks poise, flurry, DR, he's going to be taking way too much damage. But he does have Captain Killer, so he does do more damage than captains, and he can inflict paralysis, so that's cool. Yin and Yang, the blue one, I don't know which one's which, I believe it's Yin. The blue one, I think, is what you start out with, so that one can inflict paralysis, and then when they transform, they go to Burn. Burn isn't as good as Freeze, Weaken, and Paralysis, but it's better than having nothing, right? Hanataro is a healer, he also has DR, so he is usable, but he's more of a link for Kenpachi. Kensei, 20% DR, but he's a captain and he's green, so he's getting his cheeks slapped by every other Captain Killer in the game. Shunsui, another example, no poise, no flurry, so he's going to do, take way too much damage. Doesn't have DR, so he's, again, taking way too much damage. And then he also doesn't have, like, a Captain Killer. He's a PvE character, right? He's not really meant for PvP. And he's just going to get his cheeks slapped, because he's also a Captain character, right? So any character, any relevant character, even the old ones in Tier C that have Captain Killer, they're going to be just making work of all these characters here. The twins, not the twins, but the sister and brother, I guess, I don't even know their name, I forgot. Those two, not really worth using. Same with Orihime. She has the shield. That's cool, I guess. And then Yuki also has, I think, press on all his attacks. So they're usable, I guess, but I don't know if I'd use them. I'd rather use someone else. But that's Tier E. I think no controversial picks there. But yeah, moving on to Tier D. We have Orihime, Ryuken, Ichigo, the 1000-Year Blood War Round 3-1. We have Ururu, the Christmas one. And we have Shuren. Now, why are they here? Well, most of them here have DR, which allows them to survive even longer, and they're also not captains. None of them here are captains, so they're, taking less damage. Some of them have Captain Killer. Ryuken has Storybook Killer, so he's doing more damage to Storybooks, which is always nice. Again, he's purple, 20% DR, but he doesn't really inflict any status debuffs on all of his attacks. I believe it's only his second that can inflict paralysis, which is cool, but he's not really doing bits in PvP. He's not going to do enough damage for him to be a top tier character. And him being ranged means he's always going to try and dodge away from the characters and just take way too much damage than he needs to. Same with Orihime, this time she actually has Captain Killer and she has the shield, but it's not enough to change the meta or anything, so that's why she's here. 1000-Year Blood War Ichigo would be higher, but he lacks poise, so he's taking way too much damage. He also has a Spada Killer, which isn't that useful. You'd think it would be useful, but he can't really compete with the Espada characters in PvP right now, so that's why he's this low. And again, no poise means, and for a ranged character, means he's always going to be constantly dodging backwards and taking hits while the other characters are just pursuing him, just non-stop attacking him. He's going to be staggering, moving back, and just taking too much hits and just die. His strong attacks also aren't really that good for PvP, so again, he's more of a PvE-centric character. Ururu can be good. I versed someone with Ururu in Head Captain. Some people in Head Captain, if you've got good accessories and links and stuff like that, you can make most characters work. I lost to a team. I have the best PvP team in the game. I have 3 S tier characters, and that team lost to a team with Christmas Yoruichi. So just shows, right? Soul Bomb at the end of the day comes. Whoever gets the Soul Bomb wins the game. That's what it also comes down to. So do know that. But the higher up the characters are, the more consistency they have. So you don't have to rely on the Soul Bomb. My team doesn't really rely on the Soul Bomb. If I do get it, it pretty much guarantees me the win. But yeah, Ururu can inflict, again, same with, unfortunately she actually has recharge. She doesn't have a PvP soul trait like DR and normal attack, right? Mainly DR, but she has recharge, which isn't that useful whatsoever. She also has a team heal, and she can inflict freeze on a lot of attacks, I believe, except her second one. I'm not entirely sure. But again, she's not really doing much. If she freezes you, cool, then she can be a threat. But if she don't freeze, she's not really that useful. I lost to her once in head captain, and all the other times I won. So just do know that. And then Shuren, he's got captain killer, I believe. I think. He's also a DR, but he's not really making that much waves. He mainly countered the blue Kenpachi, who's not really that high anymore, so that's why he's this low. Speaking of blue Kenpachi, we're moving on to tier C, or C tier. We have blue Kenpachi, red Noitora, Sergeant the manga version, manga, jeez, I forgot his name. Kenpachi, I don't know how I forgot his name, and then Kusaka, if I'm saying his name right. So, these characters are pretty much the old meta nowadays. They're still great. It's just that so Kenpachi, he's a boost, 20-second boost, cool. No attack kind of slow, no attack range is also kind of bad, so that's why he's kind of fallen off a bit. And again, there's just better options nowadays, so that's why he's that low. And he also doesn't inflict any debuffs on his strong attacks, right? So if he did, he'd probably be in a higher tier. But nowadays, with characters that can't inflict debuffs, you're pretty much relying on their normal attacks and their damage they can put out, right? But when a character that does way more damage than them comes out, then they're gonna fall down. If he had status debuffs on his strong attacks, then maybe he could have stayed up a bit longer. Same with Noitora, doesn't really do anything. His second strong attack is a Vortex, not that useful in PvP, and then that's pretty much it, right? He just he hard counters Yama, and Yama again's not even that high anymore. Sergeant, a captain character with no DR. He's just gonna take hella beatings from any character that has captain killer, pretty much. So that's why he's this low. And same with what's his name? Why am I forgetting his name? I already mentioned Kenpachi. So Kenpachi, 1000-year Blood War version. Now the problem with him, right, is that he's got poise, which is good, right? He's the SP based character. When he did come out, he did some serious bits with Yuha, and just trying to kill Retsus. But now Retsu isn't really the main threat anymore, so he's kind of fallen down a bit. If he had a captain PvP killer, if he had a PvP killer like Captain or Spada, he probably could have been a lot better. Unfortunately, they gave him a PvE killer, and I say unfortunately because he doesn't have Sprinter, right? So he might as well just been a PvP character, honestly. With no Sprinter, you're not really going to use him in PvE, so they were probably just better off giving him a PvP killer. And then Kusaka is somewhat of a Retsu counter, but even then he didn't really make waves in PvP when he did come out, and over time you don't really use him as much. You rarely ever see him, so that's why he's this low. Now going into B tier, maybe the controversial tier, I guess. So this one we have White Ichigo, White Tensei Zangetsu. We have Toshiro, we have 1000-year Blood War Ichigo, Butterfly Aizen, Yama, Soifon, Yami, and Aizen. Now, why are they here? So White Ichigo is a non-attack character, would have been better if he had DR, but because he isn't a captain, he's taking less damage from most people, right? And he also has Storybook Killer, which is always nice. He has weakening on everything, a good non-attack string, and he has a Vortex on his second, which has a good chance to inflict weakening whoever he's going against, right? So that allows him to stay in B tier. If he didn't have that, he'd probably be in C or D. Again, that's why PvP is reliant on the strong attacks and normal attacks and how they can inflict status elements or anything like that. So if you got weakening and you have a good chance of inflicting weakening, you're going to be high, right? So he has a good chance to do a lot of damage and take less damage. But again, this is more reliant on RNG. Same goes for this Toshiro. Toshiro is an SP-based character, probably one of the better SP-based characters in the game. In terms of PvP, right? He has Hollow Killer, which doesn't really do him any justice, but he can. I've seen gameplay, I think, on Deku's channel, where an SP-based team can nuke a whole DR flurry team, but if they don't, they're doing almost no damage and you're taking an L. So it's a pretty tricky thing to run SP-based characters. And I see a lot of people in Head Captain use a bunch of last-ditch links, but it doesn't really help that much. But with the start barrier, allows him to take less damage and get all his strong attacks out without being interrupted, without having the need to have poise, which is always cool. And then again, he has freeze on all his attacks, so if he does freeze, then he can be a problem. But if he doesn't freeze, then you're pretty much getting one-shotted by Noitora. Ichigo isn't a captain, so boom, he's already taking less damage. He also has Storybook Killer, so he's doing more damage, and he also has a boost. He's pretty much up here. Him and Aizen are pretty much here for the same reason. They're a boost character. If you rock him with DR and Chappies, boom, you don't want them to do damage. You just want them to boost your team and also do at least some damage, right? That's pretty much why they're here. They're substitutes for, you always want a boost character on your team. That's why they're this higher. So if you don't have them, if you don't have the other characters that are higher that also boost, then they're probably your best option. But they can do some work, and again, they're a boost, infinite boost. Well, they're 20 seconds, right? That's enough for a PvP game, so that's why they're this high. Now, Yama, I originally did have an A tier, but I moved him down because he gets hard countered by a lot of characters. Any new character with Captain Killer can do some serious damage to Yama. Again, he has Poison DR and Flurry, which is always great. But because he inflicts burn, it's all right. It's better than nothing. But because he's the captain, he's taking way too much damage, and the burn doesn't really help that much. It's better than nothing, like I said, but you're rather off having freeze, paralysis, or weakening. So yeah, that's why he's this low, I guess you could say. You could argue for tier A, but for now I'm just going to leave him in tier B. Next to him is Soifon and Yami. Again, they're pretty much the same reason here. So Yami could... I'd say Yami... Yeah, I think they're both in the same spot, right? So these two characters are clearly PvE-centric characters, right? They have Flurry, they have a PvE killer, and they also have normal attack damage instead of DR. If they had a Captain Killer or a Sparta Killer and DR, then they would have been a PvP character. So that's why they're not that high, but they are options because they do have Flurry and Poise. So that's why if you don't have anyone else, you could use them. There's nothing wrong with using them. The main problem with Soifon, however, is she's a captain. So she's literally getting two-shotted by Noyotora. She does have a Rankar killer, so she can do some damage to Noyotora, but it's not enough to kill her or even make a dent in his health. Yami, on the other hand, isn't a captain, so he's taking less damage. I guess his true counter is Sergeant, but you don't really see Sergeant nowadays, so you don't have to worry about that. But again, with no Captain Killer, no DR, he's going to slack a bit, but he is usable. And Aizen is pretty much the same reason as Whitezen gets to. He has a Vortex, can inflict paralysis, I believe, and he isn't a captain, so he can do some serious damage, and he also has Soriba Killer. So, yeah, and he also does more damage, because I believe he has an 80% net increase from his skills. So, yeah, that's tier B, and now let's move on to tier A. So, in A tier, we have Yuha Baha, or Yuha Bak. We have Retsu, we have 3rd Anniversary Okura, Halibo, Neliel, the Confio mod version, and Vassalo Ichigo. So, why are they here? These characters are pretty much, you notice one thing, none of them are captains besides the Retsu, and that's pretty much, Retsu was originally S tier, but she's dropped now because of how many captain killers there are. So Yuha is a no affiliation, so no one's really doing that much damage, way more damage than they should be to him, unless you're Okura, but even then, that's a rare matchup, so I myself try to avoid going against Yuha because he's just a hassle to deal with. The barrier, if someone builds him with full HP or stamina and DR, and he can snipe the soul bomb, which he can do because there's normal attacks and stuff, then he can be a problem. So I try to avoid this Yuha because he is a problem if he does get that soul bomb. Again, most characters are a problem if they get the soul bomb, but Yuha's especially annoying because he can just nuke your whole team. So Retsu is falling down from S tier. She wasn't really S tier, obviously. Probably a couple months ago she would have been S tier, but now she's moved down. Main reason is because too many counters to her. Almost every character with a Captain Killer nowadays can actually kill her. Weaken, Noitora, Chad, Vassalo Ichigo. Way too many counters that it's kind of a reliability to use her, but she still does have use if you don't go against those characters. She herself has Captain Killer, nice to have. Second strong attack heals, nice to have. Her ultimate heals, which is it's better, right? And it also has a chance to instant kill. But she doesn't have any status debuffs on her strong attacks, so it's kind of a sticky situation, right? She's always gonna fall down when the more better characters come out. So that's why she is in tier A. 3rd Anniversary Okura is here because he's another boost character, probably like the second best boost character in the game. He gives a shield as well, which is always nice to have. I believe it's also enhancer, so it lasts 20 seconds. He himself is in a Sparta, so most characters don't have a Sparta killer, so they're not doing as much damage as they can do to him. But unfortunately for him, he has no affiliation. It would have been better if he had Captain or Soripa. That would have allowed him to do better. But he's not bad. He can, tank a lot. He also has weakening. So if he does proc that, he's pretty much guaranteed to survive. So that's why he's here. Similar to him, Halibel is here for almost the same reason. She doesn't have a shield or anything, but she has good normal attack string. She has Soripa killer, so she's doing more damage to captains and stuff like that. But her main thing is that she can inflict paralysis, and that can last like 7 seconds. So if she does get the paralysis off, you're pretty much screwed, and she's almost going to kill you unless for some reason your team gets the soul bomb. And that's why she's here. She also has DR. She doesn't have poison flurry, but she can carry herself in PvP. And I do see some people actually prefer using her over Weekend. So that's a bit, I guess that's whatever. But yeah, you can do that if you want to. Confio mode Neliel is also up here, almost for the same reason. She has a Vortex, again, good chance to inflict the weakening, which she can inflict on all her strong attacks. Her no attack string, obviously, as you know, is a lunge, which fires across the map, so sometimes you can actually dodge attacks from some of the characters. and she also has poise, right? So she's just doing all the damage. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a DR soul trait. She has recharge, which isn't that useful in PvP. If it was normal attack damage, it would have been better. But yeah, she's not a bad character to use if she does get the weakening off. She can do damage, and she can technically can Noitora, honestly. It can happen because she does have a Ronka killer. So she's probably the best person to go against Noitora, honestly, if I'm thinking about it now. But yeah, let's move on to the last character, which is Vassalo Ichigo. And I know I said in a couple of videos ago that Vassalo Ichigo sucks in PvP question mark. It was a question, by the way, just so you know that. He's not bad. He's a straight counter to Retsu, but he slacks against some characters. If he had Lacerate and DR, he would have been probably S tier. Unfortunately, that's not the case. He doesn't have any status debuffs. So that's what kind of puts him into A tier. Probably could argue B tier, but I'm going to leave him in A for now. That's why it's a good thing to go against him, because if the enemy gets a soul bomb and uses his special, it's pretty much a complete waste. He doesn't do anything on his soul bomb, and he doesn't do anything on his strong attacks, and that's why he's that low. It probably would be higher. But yeah, that's tier A. Let's move on to the tier S, which is now in order of best to worst. So we have Noitora, Kenpachi, and Chad. Now let's start with Chad. Chad's a human character, so he doesn't take any damage from any other character, like any more damage than he needs to from any other character. There are two characters in the game that has killer advantage over him, which is New Year's Mayuri and the Swimsuit Orihime. Both, funny enough, green characters, but they're not PvP characters, so they're not making any waves. And even then, even if you do use him in PvP, I doubt they're going to actually kill Chad, because Chad does some serious damage. He has DR, he has paralysis and everything, I believe, except his second strong attack, and he also has, his second strong attack is a boost, which has a 20-second enhancer on it, right, or 10-second enhancer, so it lasts 20 seconds. That's great. He's taking so much damage, he's doing so much damage to all these captains and taking less damage from everyone. He could even win in a 1v1 against Yama. I've seen it happen before, I've done it myself, and it's a sight to see, honestly. But speaking of sights to see, Kenpachi is also this high, despite having a hard counter in Chad, who's also in S tier. The reason why he's this high is because his second strong attack is also a Vortex, his first is a Lunge, and his third is also Force Screen. Those three strong attacks are good to have in PvP, because why? One, the Vortex being around him is better than just, throwing a Vortex out like Noitora does in C tier. Having weaken on that Vortex allows him to, most of the time, proc that weakening, right? I myself go against a lot of mirror matches where my Chad goes against their weekend and my weekend goes against their Chad. And a lot of the times where my Chad or their Chad die because the Kenpachi inflicts weakening, right? Or the Kenpachi can just survive and wait for someone else to come and help him because he inflicted weakening. That's why he carries so much. He also hard counters Yama, can kill Retsu, can pretty much kill any captain character in the game. And that's why those two are so high. But yeah, mainly Chad's lower because unfortunately he doesn't have Debilitator, so if he does get the special off, the paralysis don't last as long as Noitora. And speaking of Noitora, he is 100% the best character in PvP right now. The only bad thing about Noitora is that he doesn't have long reach. That means his range in his normal attacks are lower than what they should, but that's probably KLab just somewhat nerfing him because they made a complete beast out of that character. So why is he good? DR, 16%. Captain Killer, he himself is an Espada, so there's almost no Espada characters killers in the game, and if they are, they're kind of meh, so that's why he's that high. He's a Mind character, so he hard countered Retsu. He has a 10 start barrier, always nice to have, and he has paralysis on almost everything, and his second strike is also a boost, but this one, it only lasts 10 seconds, but you're mainly using it to increase his magnifications, because when he does use that second strike attack, he transforms and does even more damage. So that's pretty much why he's here. And one of the annoying things is, if he does get paralysis off, it's pretty much a guaranteed win. If my Noitora goes against your Noitora, and they're built equally the same, whoever gets the paralysis off wins, basically. Because that paralysis lasts like 7 seconds, and my god, it's a hassle to deal with. If they get the soul bomb, and by the way, he is one of the best characters to snipe a soul bomb, because his first strong attack is like a ranged lunge, not lunge. It's a beam attack, I guess you can say, right? And the AI saves it until the bomb comes. So the second the soul bomb comes, and the AI locks onto the soul bomb, right, with this Noitora, instantly just snipes it, uses it, paralyzes you for 7 seconds, and before you can even get unparalyzed, boom, he's got a second special ready. So that's why he's annoying to go against, but is he fun to use, right? And that's pretty much the tier list, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Like I said, I might be devaluing some characters, might be having them somewhat higher than they should be. But for the most part, I think I'm comfortable with this list. Feel free to correct me in the comments below if you do have any different opinions. And yeah, that's about it. Don't hate on my opinion because it's only one person. I'm not saying everything's 100% fact. It's just my opinion at the end of the day. And that's it, guys. I'm going to end the video. I suck at ending videos. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.